to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show us here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Campbell.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B. It is great to be here. We got Moonscar Blade and Yoli. It is great to see you here. But we do got some news. Tanner Engstrom turned down the Jets job or the Bears job and is now interviewing with the Jets with the AG. So there's still a chance we may lose Tanner Engstrom, but we have our OC in place because the Lions have hired John Morton, former passing game coordinator. Oh, I'm doing great. Just another day this side of the sod and upright. Austin Hacker. Yes, we got our guy. John Morton was actually a part of the Lions assistant roster back in 2022 and 2023. Glad to hear that, Yoli. I'm glad you're back safe. I hope you're enjoying some time off. I hope you're getting better with your rehab. I hope all is well. Broski Bear, good to see you. Oh, you'll be back tomorrow, so you're still enjoying vacation time. Gotcha. But I don't think we're going to be in that bad a shape if Tanner Engstrom leaves. I want to see who we bring in for wide receivers coach. I wouldn't mind us calling up Brian Hartline out of OSU. Everybody says, oh, he's the heir apparent. But after winning a national championship, Ryan Day is going to get an extension. Austin, let us know as soon as the baby's here. I know you're there at the hospital with your wife. They're inducing. Good luck to you up. And Senior Bowl practices start today. And we know that there's some Lions staff down there coaching them. I think they didn't want to have the exact same playbook in place with Ben Johnson just leaving and him becoming a head coach in our division. Because if you're using the exact same playbook, he'll know just by looking at the formation what the plays are and be able to tell the DC what's coming. And I think that gives him an unfair advantage. Whereas if we get somebody who came from a different organization to be the OC, about 60%, 60% of your playbook will change over at minimum. The things that fit his playbook would be good. Yeah, I think it's more that. I think he doesn't think Tanner's ready yet because he was just a passing game coordinator. Ben never let him. So, there was a difference. When everything went downhill with Anthony Lynn, Ben Johnson was calling plays with MCDC. Oh, I know how the waiting game is. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. King SJ, good to see you. So I'm going to get a list of the Senior Bowl participants tonight. I'm also because also going on is the VCU Combine down there at this time. And I think next week is the East-West Shrine game or the week after the Super Bowl. So, but this is the other one. Right, and I think that's the only reason why we did that. I think if Ben Johnson would have went to the Raiders or even anywhere, anywhere other than the Bears, I think 100% we wouldn't have cared about bringing up Tanner Engstrom. But it seems funny. Yeah, I'm fine with it too. It's all about trust, absolutely. Um, I like it. I like it because it's going to be a different playbook. Things are going to change. The looks won't be the same. Hank Fraley being our running game coordinator now. Yes, absolutely. I don't think they are retaining. But AG met with Aaron Rodgers over the weekend. I did hear that. So I don't know what came of that. There was no details given. I do know that in Pittsburgh there was a knock on the office for Mike Tomlin, and that's usually when Art Rooney the second wants to let someone. So we'll pay attention to that. So Morton is known for immense VJs. That's funny. No, but I don't want to do that. It's funny. It's funny. Did anybody see Liam Cohen's presser introduction? I think the only one that got excited from him saying Duval was Caleb Williams. Holy shit. It was bad. They're clowning him on Get Up, on First Take, on all of those shows. Anyone have his number asking for a friend? So basically, I'm going to be shifting gears now that we got our OC assistance wise that we need to be paying attention to other than wide receiver coach because JT Barrett was an assistant. Exactly, Brent. I feel the same way. Um, but I have the feeling the job he did with Bo Nix there with Sean Payton as passing game coordinator, you can't think he'll do awful. Trust plays a huge factor in this game of football, 100%. I think we're going to run the same scheme, Dan, because he's been here the entire time we implemented. What I'm interested in seeing is how he incorporates the blitz packages to complement Casey Rogers and what he does with defensive line coaching. So I think it's going to be a huge boon to the defensive line, keeping Zadarius Smith, having Aiden Hutchinson, having DJ Reader, and a developing Broderick Martin. I don't know if we re-sign Levi, but if we do, I doubt it's to a starting salary. Liam Cohen, the way he came out and said Duvall at the end of his presser, you should watch that, broski. I said the only one that got excited about that was Caleb, and I was making a joke about the whole way he said "Go Bears." It was just a joke because it was almost as bad the way Liam Cohen said Duvall. Oh, I know. Shepard still looks in shape enough because remember he played it. I think up until like 2017 or 18. Yeah, I'm about as interested in the Super Bowl as getting an enema, Jim Jackson. So I'm going to be paying attention to the Senior Bowl. That's what I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to start doing my my of it, watching the drills and everything I can see on YouTube, listening to what the coaches that are there say. And yes, we have coaches and scouts down there. I think he will be. I think getting Casey Rogers sets him up for success. Uh, I I don't like the promotion of Sean D. Hamilton, who went from safety to linebacker to assistant. And just because I haven't seen him in that lead role as the linebackers coach yet, I understand somebody has to take it, but I would have rather had us hire Larry Foote and have him learn behind him too, so he gets a different look. I hope that makes sense. I'm not saying he won't be good. I'm just saying I would have rather had that. I wish we could have brought Larry Foote in, and not for DC, for linebackers coach. It seems funny. The GM gets fired in Tampa Bay, and within days, people are leaving that place like the plague. Rumor is Byron Leftwich is on his way out too. I do too, because at least it's not like the Pro Bowl. Oh, I watched the conference games and I was not impressed. I think the ref made some mistakes in both games. I feel you, King SJ. But at the same time, the bad calls that was in the Eagles game, they didn't change the outcome of the game. I'm just saying, you take 14 points off that score, and Commanders were still. Everyone was saying they're working against the refs all over the web. I know, and I'm trying not to go there, but it's the obvious you see. Go back and rewatch the game on NFL Network. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call out the plays. There was so many that were wrong. I mean, even Tony Romo and Jim Nance were talking about how bad it was. So I just, I didn't get it. The Eagles already got a roughing the passer call to start the game. They have to kick off from the end zone. And that's the thing. Honolulu Blue flew truck again. Oh, I'm not saying that's the first time they scored over 30 points all season. And it happened in the postseason, but yet it was a one score win is what I have a problem with because of there was three penalties and one bad call that changed the complexion of that game. And I'm not gonna and one of it didn't even have to do with Pat Mahomes being on the field. Josh Allen got that first down. As a matter of fact, the time got the first down before that. The refs suck ass whole season. The NFL has a script going to ruin the game more than FanDuel is. Just my opinion. I, we've all had that opinion. Yep. Oh yeah, I understand, and I called Brady out on it too. In the first four Super Bowls that Brady won, I wasn't calling him that. But you see, everything changed once the rules changed. and he started to whine more and try to draw more flags. He did it all the time. And to see him cry about it now that he's not a player, I have issue with it, but I also understand it because all he's saying is, "I work the system too." He literally said the words, "I've worked the system too." So I give him credit for admitting it, and I give him a credit for saying it's wrong. But at the same time, if you're going to cry about it now, you shouldn't have called for it back then. Maybe you should have said decline that penalty. I've given you my opinion of Taylor Swift. She's a carpenter's nightmare. She's flat as a board and twisted. She's more warped than the worst piece of wood I saw at Home Depot. Patrick Chavez Mahomes. Yes, yes, I get the reference. Maybe it's Patrick Montana Mahomes. He'll get close and end up going down in flames just where he beats Brady's record. Watch. Say hello to my little friend. It could, but we said that last year, and it didn't happen. They went 15-2 also. They're a great team. I, I just hate the fact in their 12 playoff games that have been decided, 8 of them by point, and all of them were aided by calls that are questionable. Say that they're not aided by calls that are questionable is ignoring the problem. But at the same time, what good does it do us fans to sit here and commiserate and complain about it, other than to make ourselves feel better? Let's be honest. The only way you're going to hurt the NFL is to stop watching. And none of us, none of us are going to quit watching our team. Let's face it. We're going to watch it. We're probably going to watch the Super Bowl, even though we say we're not. Why? It's the fucking Bowl. Vatos whatever. Swift has a bitchy looking face. She's probably a nightmare to work for. Hello, Jody Carruthers. Good to see you. Long time. Jim Jackson. Good to see you. Taylor Swift looks like the woman that begs her boyfriend. There, I said it. Oh, I'm just going for laugh factor, guys. It's great to see 44 people watching me this morning. It's great to see all the comments. I'll be watching the Super Bowl, but getting hammered as I watch. And Broski Bear says, Jody! True, JB, but I'm sure the NFL is losing fans, but they're gaining fans quicker than they're losing them because the fan base is so goddamn big. That's why they're not noticing a drop off. For every one regular fan they're losing, they're gaining 5 Swifties every time they win a game. Let's I expect that the NFC North is going to be way more competitive. It's going to be harder for any of us to win this division next year. I don't care what anybody says. Also true. 5 Super Bowls in 7 years is impressive, but Mahomes still sucks. There we go. Yeah, and if he wins this, that's his 4th one out of 5. The only team that beat them, 2019. Goddamn Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Brady. And that wasn't just a beating. That was a beat down. It was It was disgusting how bad the beatdown was. The funny thing is, Swifty is from Pennsylvania town, not all that far from Philly. Forget the town, but conflict of interest. Yeah, I know. I hear you. All I know is I love each and every one of you guys for coming on and talking football with me. In a horrible news phase, let's face it. Now we're down to it's all a bunch of bullshit. Least watched Super Bowl in decades is my prediction. Yeah. Thoughts on Pete Carroll, the Raiders coach? How much do you think he can help the Raiders get better? The fact he already has a whole coaching staff in line behind him, and we're going to see those hires come in quick and be able to start working on the players. I think it's very much more about the coaching staff getting them there than Mahomes, in my opinion. This year, 100% Jim Jackson. Will Pete Crosby and I, 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 I think Mark will make him keep him. Mark Davis will make him keep him another year until the cap clears up enough to move him. I think they can afford to move him this year, even if they wait till after June 1st. I think all that talk out there is just bullshit rumor stuff. And I understand that Amik Robertson and Pat O'Connor is reaching out to him, and he said as much. He goes, but as of right now, I'm a Raider. So he didn't say he didn't want to be here, but he didn't say he did want to be here. He left it kind of open ended, and I think it's another year before they can move on him. Swift went to the same high school as Anzalone, Wyoming area high school outside Wyoming area high school outside Reading, Pennsylvania. Yes, Reading, as in the Reading Railroad from Monopoly. That was actually a big station back in the day. So I think we're going to see because this guy was a part of the staff back in 2022, 23. I think you're going to see we know the stuff that Goff wants to keep, but I think you're going to see different plays than the trick plays. I think you're still going to see some trips bunch with motion in the 12-man formation and in the 11-man formation. I think our 13-man formations may change. Maybe we go in a direction where we actually draft a fullback for a change or pick one up out of free agency. Because I'd like to see it. That you Orlando. Um, I think what you're going to see is them trade or just sign Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson will be a Raider. I don't think he's going to get re-signed in Pittsburgh. I also don't think Justin Fields there. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. There's been no talks of contract talks. I think Justin Fields up a backup. Ugh. I don't think we should go after any of these big name guys. That's just me. I say let Holmes cook. Let him do what he wants. We keep projecting all this stuff that we want as fans, and we stop thinking about what he wants. And when you find out that he did a 3-week search and narrowed it down to one guy in 2 weeks, it came down to Zadarius Smith, and it took him 2 weeks to get him. No, Pete didn't quit Seattle because of Russ. Remember, he was still coaching there the last year with Geno Smith. Pete quit because management didn't want him there anymore. End of story. I'm debating on if we should bring Iffy back. He's a great talent, but he can't seem to stay on the field. I'm debating if we bring Barnes back. Same reason. And same thing with Levi Amuzariki. Even though he played more snaps this year than he ever has in his career, I think he's the best one to bring back out of those three. Jameer Jefferson, I don't want him back. I don't. I just don't. The rest of it is all up in the air. Um, we'll be in competition with hers and Brats over a free agent. Yeah. Or Jets and Bears. Okay. I keep telling that Tomlin doesn't like Fields. He expects more out of a QB. Need to have more QBs other than physical traits. Oh, I 100%. I think he's moving on from both of them because Russell was good for like the first few games he was in, but he started to fall apart, and it was a big reason why they lost a few big games. Holmes hasn't shown he would go pay big money or go after big free agents, so I don't think he should, nor do I expect him to go after a big name. I don't even think they want Aaron Rodgers. I don't think there's a team in the NFL that wants Aaron Rodgers except maybe San Francisco to keep from having to pay Brock Purdy. Because if you look at it, if they wait till June 1st to trade Aaron Rodgers, it clears a little cap. They could trade him to San Francisco and get Brock Purdy on a rookie contract and work on him. They'll get Purdy with that, and Aaron Rodgers will be there with Kyle Shanahan and might actually be able to do something because they actually have a decent O line. Yes, the rumor is Carlton Davis did a weird treat, and it sounds like he wants to go to the Jets because he wants to be with AG more than he wants to be here with Shepard. That we're already talking to Ziegler because let's face it, we're just a few weeks away from being able to re-sign our own guy. I think Tim Patrick is another one that we're going to re-sign. Well, it's proof that the roster wasn't there yet. Orlando, the proof is in the pudding. Our secondary gave up a ton of passing yards. Yes, we did good for stopping teams, but we gave a ton of passing yards. We can't deny it. Our secondary wasn't great. It just was good. I think see a Jet San Francisco trade myself, and it'll be after June 1st. That's just my personal opinion. Because Jets are in that no man's land for picking a quarterback in the middle of the first round of pieces. They still need a wide receiver. They're probably losing Devontae Adams. They also need O line. Their O line can't stay healthy, so they got to start replacing it now. And as far as Pro Bowl news is, Taylor Decker is replacing Pinale, who's dealing with a minor injury and won't be playing in the Pro Bowl this year. St. Brown won't be playing in the Pro Bowl due to a minor injury, and Malik Neighbors will be his replacement in the Pro Bowl, which means the alternate is Jamison Williams. So we'll see. Jamison Williams may get a nod. Um, who knows? But as of right now, we have in the Pro Bowl because of Neighbors replacing Amon Ra. The market is oversaturated. You're 100%. Um, one of the biggest names out there is T. Higgins. I still say he's a bet for the Packers than almost every other wide receiver out there. I understand he doesn't stay healthy all season, but he only misses like 3 to 5 games, is 8 to 10. Christian Watson. Um, Looks like the deal is closing in to make Matt Eberflus the defensive coordinator of Cowboys, and I think he's probating to get that defense. If you look at that roster, that defense should have been a lot better than what it was last year. A lot of that had to do with Leslie Boyer. What a horrible signing. That's like getting an older version of Joe Barry. But I believe that knock in Pittsburgh is for Mike Mike Tomlin to fire Terrell Austin. That defense regressed. Second year, it got worse than it was the year before. Um, and I understand the offense doesn't help, but when your defense regresses that much, it, it's time for a change. Since they already announced it won't be Tomlin going, I think that's the guy that's going. Hey, Pat Rothwell in the house. Yes, the overpaying for free agents to come here is gone. We don't do that anymore. And everybody knocks Brad for being a dollar store guy, but it's because they're not asking for big money. Oh, 100%, Brent. I'm interested on who he'll get, and it looks like all the offensive line products in the NFL have almost turned him down. He's going to be looking for a college offensive line coach. And as much as I hate to say it, because I'd hate to see it. Michigan's O line coach would be a good fit there. Damn, there she goes. I love it when you say that, Jim. Oh, good afternoon, Dwayne. Yes, we got our OC. Tanner Engstrom leaves tomorrow to interview with the Jets for their OC position. We hired John Morton to the Broncos passing game. I haven't been able to watch Senior Bowl practice because it just started today. Today was the first day of activity. Yesterday, all they did was calisthenics, so there really wasn't much to watch. That's right. Let's go, Detroit Lions, Kings of the North Division champion title. Back to back, baby. All grit, never back down. But what did it equal? A seat on the couch to watch the Super Bowl. I'm crushed. So today, after I get off here, that's exactly what I'm doing. Is I'm going to go watch Super Senior Bowl practice. I got to go look at who's the list of participants. I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. 2025 Senior Bowl roster. All right, quarterbacks for the American offenses: Jackson Dart, Jalen Bill, Riley Leonard, and Seth Hennigan. Running backs: Rashard Smith, Trevor Etienne, Devin Neal, Marcus Yarns, R.J. Harvey, and Jarquez Hunter. Wide receivers: Isaac Tesla, Jamal Pritchett, Jack Beck, Chamir Dyson, Arian Smith, Drew McCoy III, and Jalen Royals. Tight end: Jake Bringingstool, That name cracks me up too. If I had the choice, are you talking about individually? Are you talking individually, or are you talking about team wise? Yes, I like him too, Pat Rothwell. He's another guy I like. The American roster defense. Edge. Princely. And this is one of the guys I liked out of Ole Miss. Princely Umanumillian. Baron Sorrell. Kyle Kennard is another one I like. Shamar Stewart I love Stewart out of Texas State. Individually, I don't have anybody I hate enough to want to kick their ass. Maybe Jeremy Ballrick Jr. for being a fake ass motherfucker in the comments. How's that? Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss, Savion Jones LSU, and RJ Oben. Defensive tackles: Deion Walker, Walter Nolan, Tim Smith, Omar Nolan Lott, TJ Sanders, Tyrion Ingram Duncan, and Cameron Jackson. Linebackers: Shamar James, Eugene Asante, Demetrius Knight, Jack Kaiser, Smail Munden Jr., and Jalen McLeod. Safeties are Dante Trey Jr., Caleb Ransaw, Billy Bowman Jr., um, Hunter Wohler, Dan Jackson, and cornerbacks are Brandon Adams, Jacob Parrish, Maxwell Harrison, Jonathan Edwards, Trey Amos, Melvin Smith Jr., Mac McWilliams, and Upton Stout. Now on the national roster, Tyler Slough, Dylan Gabriel, and Taylor Elgersma out of Laurier, which Jeff Brisden said he's a guy to look at. I'm hoping to, but I don't know if I'll have my site up and running yet, Big Dan Davis. I'll explain everything later. Um, Running backs this year: Ollie Gordon, Jaquavius Edwards, LeQuint Allen Jr., Damian Martinez, and Vaishur. Wide receivers: Pat Bryant, Daquan Collins, Xavier Restrepo out of Miami, Florida. I like this kid. Keep an eye on him. Jaden Higgins, Kyle Williams. I like him too. Jalen Noel, another good name. Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech. Tight ends: Terrence Berg, Oregon. He's another name to watch. Harold Fannin Jr. I always say to watch out for those guys from like Bowling Green and out of the back. They use their tight ends a lot more than some of the other Power Five conferences. Elijah Arroyo out of Miami, Florida. We know how much he got used by Cam Ward. Gavin Bartholomew and Moliki Matavo out of UCLA. Not one Michigan offensive lineman in there. All right. Cornerbacks for the national defense: Quincy Riley, Bethal Cone, Azaria Thomas, Darian Porter, Jalen Smith, Tommy Hill, and Dorian Strong. Safeties: Trey Rucker, Keandre Jackson, Ryan Lane III out of Navy. Keep an eye on him. He had a very good year for Navy this year defensively. Jonas Sanker, Virginia. Maxon Hook out of Toledo, another unknown Mac guy, but I have heard things about him. He's another one to keep an eye on. And Sebastian Castro out of safety linebacker U, which is Iowa. Linebackers: Jeffrey Bassa, Nicholas Martin, Justin Barron, Kareen Reed, out of Utah, and Cody Lindenberg out of Minnesota. Cody Lindenberg's another name that you heard a lot about this season. Even though Minnesota didn't win a lot of games, they made a lot of good defensive stuff. Interior defensive line: Joshua Farmer, Florida State; Darius Alexander, Toledo, another MAC guy; Aeneas Peebles, Virginia Tech; Junior Tafana, Utah; Yaya Black, Iowa; and Jamiri Caldwell out of Oregon. Oregon had a very good stuff run defense. So Watch them in the middle. Edge players, you got Ty Robinson, Nebraska. Josiah Stewart, Michigan. Jonathan Salaraku, Boston College. Mike Green, another guy that I keep hearing a lot tied to the Lions, out of Marshall. Joyner, Minnesota. Joyner's another one to watch out for. Colin Oliver, Oklahoma State. David Walker, Central Arkansas. Small school, but he was very disruptive from the interior tackle position. Landon Jackson, out of Arkansas. David Walker's one of those guys that plays inside and out. Landon Jackson didn't play a lot inside. He played more outside. I like him a lot. He's the guy I really, really want there, picking at 28. And Oluwafemi Aladito out of UCLA, a guy that decided to go back for his senior year. The kicker is Ryan Fitzgerald. The punter is Jeremy Crawshaw out of Florida. And the Michigan, the long snapper is William Wagner. Yep, that's fine. I just wanted to put out who's out there. These rosters were broke down on this morning at 7:25 a.m. Just to let you know where I'm at. Now let's see who the coaches are. The Alabama Senior Bowl today's announced that assistant Cleveland Browns head coach and special teams coordinator Bubba Ventrone and New York Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will serve as the American and national team coach. So Mike Kafka, the offensive coordinator, will be the national team's coach, and Bubba Ventrone will be the American team coach. And don't forget, like the HBCU combine goes on all this week too. I think that starts on Wednesday or Thursday. They do that relatively quick because there's not as many. I would love to cover the draft, but it takes money. It also takes backing. So I don't know. So let's see. Ali Jennings of Virginia Tech, Nick Jackson, Iowa, Danny Strigow, Minnesota, Donovan McMillan, Pitt, Trayshawn Ward, Boston College for Ryan File. Yeah, and that's just day one. Day one, you're looking for the gems. Dan's talked about that. Talk to are the ones that'll be later in the draft. You're trying to find a hidden gem, somebody you want. Don't forget, we're going to go to the Canadian combine later. We did it last year. Turi Manu. I wish we'd have took Montez Stiggers. I really wanted him. I'm sorry. I just think he'd have been a better pick. I really wanted Montez Stiggers. I'm sorry. So it's funny. Quinyon Mitchell, basically in the regular season, had just as many interceptions as Perry Arnold. The difference is he turned it on in the playoffs. He's had two. And I think it's a testament to the coaching of Vic Fangio and the defensive backs coach there. I think where defensive back coach did a good job with what he had to work with. Every in and out of the lineup, we gave up yards, but we weren't giving up a lot of touchdowns through there. But that all changed in the playoff game. And I don't know if it's because the coordinators had checked out already because they knew they had job offers in place. I don't know if the players had just lost interest because of the coaches being interviewed by every Stiggers over who? Me Wingo. Our last pick in the draft was Christian Mahogany. I wanted Stiggers, and he went a couple picks right after. I really wanted Stiggers. I like Mikai Wingo. Don't get me wrong. He has a lot of things going for him, but I think Stiggers would have helped our defensive back room better than Mikai Wingo did in the defensive interior. He had a couple good games here and there, a couple flashes, but he really didn't do a lot. And I understand he's a rookie, and I understand he's a day 3 pick, but I just felt Stiggers choosing when he was younger, his freshman year, to go ahead and go semi-pro early, and having those 3 years of semi-pro meant more to him than going to a community college like Lake State. That's just my opinion. You're talking about a guy that made Defensive Player of the Year of the CFL too, because of how well he played, and was a runner-up the last year to Betts. Did he go that early? I thought he went. I thought he went later. I might have been out of the room when he went. I thought Stiggers went later. He was a fifth round pick, right? 176, or is that fourth? Tall, athletic kid. That's what I'm saying. I have really wanted Stiggers. I was touting my horn on Stiggers all year. Watch some CFL game film on him, and I'm not talking about highlight reels. I'm talking about just the way he played the game. Yeah, he was fifth. Okay, good. At least I wasn't wrong. I thought it was fifth round, but I would have taken. I just I wouldn't have taken him over Manu, and it would have been a good debate over Vaki. Let's put it that way. I love Vaki, but there was a debate to be had there. How's that? Do you disagree with that take on that, Moonstar? Because I heard about Vaki as a safety the entire combine and of all through the whole scouting process. And then when we drafted him and it said running back, it made no sense to me. I understood he took limited running back. Me too on him, JB. Okay, good. I was fine with Vaki as a safety, and I saw running back, and he's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He rated way out better at running back, but it was limited as to how much he played at running back. So I didn't know what to expect in the NFL. And I'm not upset with the pick now. Let's not let's not sugarcoat it. I'm just saying at the time, I think Stiggers was a better pick. But I knew we were high on Buck. That's all I heard about for like the last week of the whole draft process is how high that the Lions were on Sion Baki, and I just didn't understand it. But I'll tell you what, right? That being said, we've made it through another day. It's been a blessing to talk football, and you notice I don't mind. I think this is his make or break year. It's year three. I think this is the year he has to show up because we're not going to have a Lee McNeil till late October, early November. So that's half a season gone, boys. Roderick Martin needs to step up, or he's probably gone. And then we'll be in this same boat a year from now with Mikai Wingo because it'll be his third year. Look how it goes, and they're late day two, borderline day three picks. Let's not get it twisted. We're not talking about the guy that was picked in the front of the third round. We're not. Yep, I hear you. This is his make or break here. And with like I said, with Liam's going to be out at least 8 or 9 weeks, he's going to have to step up. Does anybody disagree with what I just said on Martin? I mean, I know you don't have much hope, but Reeder's been working with him, and they already said he looks better now than he did at any time in the season and what they saw in practice. So I do have some hope for Martin. I like the kid. He's got that McNeil size. If we can get him right, we don't have to re-sign Reeder. That's my point. Because then you got another year, and you could get him at way cheaper than you can get Reeder again. I'm looking at the bigger picture down the road. Development, development, development. And now that we got somebody like Casey Rogers, um, who instantly made Vita Vea a household name. Remember in 2018, Vita Vea, who was getting re-signed that year, was considered a nice option at free agency if he made it there, but he wasn't considered elite. So with Casey Rogers coming in, maybe he can help a big guy like Martin turn into that, not Vita Vea himself, but maybe just a little lesser version of a Lee McNeil, probably more like a DJ Reader. Great run stuffer that can collapse a pocket. Because he did it with Western Kentucky in a limited fashion, because it was his first year as a 3-4 news tape. Yep. I think Sorsdal is on his way out. If he doesn't pick it up and become a good swing tackle for us, because I did, because I looked deeper into his history. He was a 4-3 DN/D tackle who used to be great at the DN position, and I don't know why we haven't. I understand he's big, and that doesn't happen in the NFL, but he's athletic enough. He does have a better 40 time than some people think. It's a sub 5. You could put him outside with his size, and he'll bowl over smaller tackles in the NFL. It'd be easier for him to get pressure from outside with a bull rush than it will be up the middle with bigger guards and centers. That's my point on Martin. And I wish we took some of the pages out of his North Alabama Community College days. You know, it goes back to something I said about AG all along, and hate me for saying it. Square pegs, round holes. We've seen it all the time. We were a zone defense that did really good the one year. Then we switched to a mostly man defense with one of the best zone corners in the NFL at that time. Sorsdal, he looked totally lost this year at training camp to me. He made a couple blocks here and there in the one-on-one drills, but out of the 10 he did, he got posted. He, I couldn't get excited about it. And I was excited about Sorsdal when we grabbed him. I saw better out of Gainer before he got hurt that day. And that's not saying a lot. That's a UDFA out of him. So, as much as we love our Lions and we love the teams we all watch across the NFL, it's really important to remember there is parity. There has to be some nuancing of the script, as we say, but it's starting to get to where I don't like it. And I can't stand it happening. But it's time to talk about my sponsor, which is Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Travis and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road in Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at 45 bucks and up, depending on size and condition. New tires, call to get your quote. They are delivered with 1 to 2 business days. 810-233-8230. Talk to George or Brad. If you mention this ad when buying a set of tires, if you're getting a new set of tires, you get $25 off your set. If you're getting a used set of tires, you will get $10 off your set. Oh yeah, I understand that, and we did get to see him for a couple of plays this year. One was in special teams, and then one was in when Decker went out for a series, and nobody even noticed that it was Manu in there. I did. And I liked what I saw because Skipper was already in, had to be in, and Manu came in as the extra blocker on a couple of games where he was in. I think he only had like 18 snaps all year, but I don't care. I got to see a little something, and I like this kid. Yeah, I did mention him too when I was looking through those rosters. The safety out of Navy, he is that Lion guy. He is a guy that isn't great in coverage, but not bad. But he's a really good tackler. Has that grit factor to him. Doesn't like people to beat him or he chases them down. He's got that type of quick recovery speed. I like that about him. But this has been Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B on the Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions channel. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching and talking with me. I think we got another 2 years with Frank. I'm more interested at left tackle, Moonscar, and I'll leave it at that. Or right tackle. Because don't forget, we could always put Panay at left and let whoever take over at right if they're a right tackle. So we got options there. Because Panay's done well at both positions. But thank you for watching. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. One pride for the Lions fans. And for everybody else, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like on no matter what platform you're watching. Neil Green waits to the end of the show to show up. I love you, brother. Just was talking about our hiring of the OC. I seen a few X wide receiver in the draft. You seem any like Xavier Restrepo, but I don't know if we'll be able to get him because you're gonna have to grab him either in the late first round or in the second, and we may have to trade up for him. That kid out of Miami, he's that X factor slot. He can play outside or in. He's small, he's fast, and he's good. I just like that kid. I don't know why. But we'll see what they talk about. I'm gonna be paying attention. One pride worldwide. Yes. I hope Kevin comes back in soon. I'd like to hear from him, our brother out of Germany. We've had people from Australia. We've had people from Indonesia. We've had UK people, people from Ireland, people from France in this chat before. So I'm worldwide, baby, and I love it.